everyone, and welcome to the Intern Whisperer Live, the show all about internships and how to survive them. This is Jason.
This is Kahlil.
This is Isabella. Our hashtag for tonight's show is Jason and Kahlil. Woo. If you want to win, I didn't finish that section in there. If you want to win one of our posters from our game, it can be already pre-filled or a coloring page of the posters. Please use Jason and Kahlil as the magic word on Intern Pursuit's Instagram or on Intern Pursuit's Facebook page. Okay, so our show tonight is featuring the amazing associate interns that started this term with me, Jason and Kahlil. And Jason is from Full Sail, Kahlil is from UCF. Reminder to our listeners, and tonight I am confident somebody is going to call in. That phone will ring tonight. So 407-582-2906. I don't know who's going to call, but we could have somebody that's calling from some other country. Who knows? And they can call and chat with us online through the Intern Pursuits Facebook Live chat. Kahlil?
All right, coming up this episode of the Intern Whisperer Live, fashion, wrestling, favorite movies, hashtag what I learned stories, great leaders that inspire you, introducing the hashtag Employers for Change promotion, the Intern Pursuit game, and the Wildcard Wednesday topic.
All right, so how can people find us on our social channels? You can go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm distracted, Pivot Facebook, Pivot Business Consulting, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Intern Pursuits, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Our Intern Pursuit game is on Facebook and Twitter, and you can also listen to us live on mixlr.com/Valencia College Radio and follow the Intern Whisperer. It may say Intern Pursuit, but I think it says Intern Whisperer. You can watch Facebook Live, which I think I said, and you can call in live on the air, 407-582-2906. You can also chat with us online. So, Kahlil, we have new sponsors this week.
All right, our first sponsor today is Omnimodal. Omnimodal believes smart cities and public transit services are the backbone of equitable shared mobility today and into the future. Omnimodal works with smart cities to connect all commuters across modes of transportation to the mobility as a service marketplace. Their website is omnimodal.io. Thank you, Omnimodal, for sponsoring the Intern Whisperer.
So tonight's guests are Jason who's from Full Sail, and Kahlil from University of Central Florida. Welcome, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
And I remember when you first came in on the show and was like, oh no, what do we do? We're all trying to, and now you guys are like professionals behind the board. You
Something
know what
like
you're
that.
doing. Something like that. No, you are, because remember you asked me before the show started, hey, do I want to sit on this side of the table where you guys are? And I'm going, no, you need to train me to do that. So you guys picked it up like this. I guess we should have turnaround, though, and perhaps I should do that. Maybe, I'm going to strive for that. And because the board is easier, I'll start with the board.
Yeah.
Next week.
All right.
I think the board's so easy to use.
Yeah, I'll start with that. That's easy. I know that I tried over here where in your role, Kahlil, and it was really hard to do this thing where I'm looking up here on the screen and I'm trying to move the mouse. It was challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. But,
it was hard
it's
for me.
It's a lot of multitasking.
Yeah, yeah. It was like you being you're really right-handed and you're trying to do the left-handed thing. Okay. So the reason why you guys are up here in this role now, this time it's getting towards the end of the internship, and we want to hear, our listeners want to hear, what have you learned from this experience? And more importantly, when you tell your story, what is it that you've learned that you feel that you can take into the next one? Because this is always a launching pad for your next gig, whatever that is in your life. But we'll take one step back. So I'm going to start with Jason. I want you to each say, remind our listeners what you're going to school for, what your goal is. What is that entry-level job that you really want to be able to get? And you can be realistic or you can be the dreamer, either one.
Okay.
And then also, what is it that you've learned? Third part is, what have you learned that you think is going to be really valuable going into that role? Okay? Jason, you're up.
So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Jason Ferrer. I go to Full Sail University. I'm studying media communications, and what I've learned doing this is to learn how to pick things up real fast, and when things go south, you be able to think on your feet and you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one of my goals that I'm looking forward to do is working with WWE as a ring announcer. Hopefully things keep going in the right direction. I keep moving forward, and I think I'm getting closer and closer each week.
A ring announcer.
Yeah, a ring announcer for WWE. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Are those the ones that
hold up the signs and
No,
stuff?
no. The ring announcers are people who are like, they introduce the people who are coming
behind
down,
the mics.
making their way to the ring from Long Beach, California, Eva Marie. Like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So definitely a celebrity position, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, that's my main goal. That's the whole reason why I went to Full Sail was for WWE. So I'm going to get that job.
Oh, I think you're already set up for success in that area because you are one of their people that works with them. You did get the scholarship, so you're recognized for that. You're in this role, you get to practice, and he has been doing his radio voice.
That's true.
Yeah.
He is really killing it with the radio voice.
You should do it more often, like on the show. Just saying, it's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
good.
for sure.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Whenever we introduce a new guest, and I'll be like, and standing at me with this time is, and so-and-so's name.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty cool. So being able to think on your feet, I would agree. That is a really important skill to be able to master.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got to look calm, cool. You can't let anybody know that, oh, this just got messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree.
Great improv skills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Fun fact. I got an email, Saks Comedy Club. They are doing a free open night tomorrow night, so you can learn improv. I will forward that email to you guys.
Yeah, totally. I think that's
you
pretty
might
cool.
enjoy it Thursday night.
Ooh, improv. I'm not about that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too much.
It's
thinking on my feet.
amazing where people's imagination goes when they're stuck in a situation.
It is, but I just the anxiety you get from being,
No, you know what? They have a class. It's really fun, and it's for people in business, so you can learn to think on your feet. And that is exactly what it is that ability to let go of some of your fears so that you're not going to be inhibited and be caught off guard.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're getting in front of an audience. It's just like day-to-day practice.
Right,
It was
right.
a good class.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
So
So what are you going to school for?
I am a film major at UCF currently. I guess one thing that being here one thing I've been reminded of about myself ever since I got here is that I am horrible at time management, or at least I need to improve my time management skills because they are not very good right now, to say the least. And,
Well, that is a positive spin that he just put there. He is improving his time management
Well,
skills.
there's still a lot of things about myself that I'm trying to work with or work on, and I feel
Dude, that is forever life.
Yeah, I guess. But just being here has made me kind of realize how I need to, just take a lot more responsibility for my time and my actions, and just also, I guess, the whole thinking on the spot thing. I love, I'm a film major, so my goal will be to eventually tell stories, right? So just getting to meet these guests and these people has given me stories, in a sense, that I can take home with me. Just even though it's like for 40 minutes or whatever, I have a conversation with somebody I never would have met otherwise, and it's like something I can take with me. And some guests more than others, I will remember them, and I'll be like, oh my God, let me write that down somewhere. And just these little things that kind of have gone up, like what's the word I'm looking for? They
Escalate?
they all mush together.
Yeah.
And it's just all these experiences that I can take with me, when I move on, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
As for professional goals, mine aren't as set in stone as Jason's. I don't have that one.
Well, he's ready to graduate, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I'm actually graduating next month.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He
I
is
forgot
right
about
around the
that.
corner.
Yeah.
So, it kind of makes a bit more sense of why you're so put together,
Oh,
So-
yeah, you gotta get it together.
No, because I still got maybe 2 years left, so I
Yeah.
got some
You
time
have
to
plenty
think.
of time, yeah.
Yeah. So I am grateful for being able to do this. Even though it's not directly related to film or filmmaking, I am still exposing myself to some equipment. I'm interacting with people from vastly different fields. Also, I guess, networking is a thing that comes into play, and then
Yeah.
even though
Especially in
even though I'm
film.
not out here, making movies or whatever, I'm still.
It's creating content that people
Yeah.
are listening to and
Yeah.
are watching. We
Yeah,
know that.
it's still experience,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
still something I can learn from, and I guess that's what makes it so valuable.
Yeah.
So as for my entry level job, I can't really tell you. Hopefully something, videography, video production.
Well, side note, we are working on a video for the
That's
Intern
true.
Pursuit training library.
Mhm.
So, that's something that's there too. So you went through that process of creating the storyboard. You had to be able to think about, okay, what is the image that's going to go in this field with these
Yeah.
words? So, yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so there's so much. I feel like being here, you get a lot of range, just with what we're doing, and I like it.
That's cool. That's super
It's
cool.
a lot of liberty.
All right. So those are good what I learned stories. Now, so our listeners know, these guys don't know what some of the questions are that are coming up, and I've left like little blank bullet points, so they're going to be totally seeing them for the first time when they pop up here. And they're not necessarily hidden. I'm just going to paste them in there one at a time so you get to see them. All right. So, why do you think an internship is important for students? It's really hard, I think, for the students at Full Sail, Jason, because most of the people at Full Sail, they work a full-time job. The school is like a full-time gig. It's really demanding. You guys turn over new classes, I think, every month or every 6 weeks?
Every month, yeah.
That's
so
insane.
it's super, super demanding. So it's challenging to be able to get an internship squeezed in. Usually they're having to do that like after they graduate. Is
Yeah.
my experience from Full Sail. And even still, when I've talked to other students, they go, "Oh, I thought I could do it, but no, I can't." And so
Yeah.
you're kind of a rare exception where it's fit into your life also.
Yeah, it's all about prioritizing and then doing everything, because like I do a lot already. Like a full-time student, I'm in the accelerated program. I do this, and then I do what I do with WWE, and then I also work at Universal, and then I still try to make time for my modeling and acting gigs.
Oh my god.
So yeah. So it's difficult, but it's honestly, you just have to prioritize. And then some nights, like, you're just going to do 5 assignments in one night, and you're just going to have to deal with it and just put in the work and move on.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of students have us struggling doing. They're like, "Oh, I want a job, but I can't do it. Like, it's so hard because so many assignments." And I was like, "No, listen, like, you can do it." I've managed to work I'm almost at 100 shows working with NXT. I've been killing it there. And then I'm like, this is what you got to do. You just got to spend a day, like a whole night, working on your assignments so you can have these other opportunities, because these opportunities are going to they're not going to hand it to you.
No.
You're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to prove to them that
Or
you
you
can
end
work
up
hard.
going through a job and you're going from job to job because
Yeah.
you're going, I don't like this industry, I didn't like this job, and you can't quite figure it out. And I will tell you, I can relate to what you're talking about very easily, because I have, fun fact. First 2 years I went to University of Florida. I transferred up to FSU because my major was originally criminology. And spent too much time with the boyfriend who's now the ex-husband. Flunked out of school, got sent home. And at that point in time, my parents had said, "Well, now if you want to go back to college, you're paying for it yourself."
Yeah.
So I worked full-time, and I went to school full-time, and I graduated from Rollins. And that's not an easy school to graduate from.
Yeah.
Lots of writing every week, focus papers. I did that with my MBA, and I did that with the PhD. So I'm not officially a PhD person, but I'm all but dissertation. So I've only worked really and gone to school, and it can be done. And you can still have somewhat of a social life too, but it's really about time management and prioritizing so you can get your stuff done. And I'm pretty sure you're like an A student, A and B,
Yeah.
definitely. And I was the same. I had A's and B's, but it's about priorities.
Yeah. I'm so close to a 4.0, but like are certain months where it's like it's hard.
Yeah.
And especially when I'm taking classes where I don't know that much about the topic. And then it's a busy time with WWE. So I'm just like, all right, let me quickly do all this and then focus on WWE. And it's sometimes you don't get an A and you get a B, or sometimes you completely did the assignment wrong. I've had that happen once. I completely did an assignment completely wrong, got an F, and they're like, I don't know what assignment you were doing, but you just turned in the wrong thing. And I was like, oh, Lord.
Oh, my goodness. And let me tell you something else. When you're working on your master's and a PhD, if you get a C, that's an F. So you can only get A's and B's. And so that was, I would go to work all day and then I'd go to school at night and then I'd still be in school on a Saturday on the weekends. And so it can be done, but there's a place where you have to realize what you have right now. It's still a gift because a lot of people can't go to school.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Your turn. You're up.
I was kind of lost in the question.
Okay. All right.
It was the
why
interns.
do you think internships are important for students?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like the topic when it deviated.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. But, we were starting on internships. Yeah. How it's about managing that time.
I guess, for the same reason most people will tell you they're important. It's experience. It's experience in a workplace, in a work environment. Studying and getting straight A's is great, but if you don't have any work experience in a certain, the field you're trying to get into, you have the studies, but you don't have the know-how. You don't know how it actually functions within that environment. You get what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? I think in the world of film, I think it really depends on what you want.
I was gonna say, because film is, I guess it could be a bit different because you don't necessarily need a degree in film to do film, right?
People have their own YouTube channel.
Yeah, anybody can nowadays. We can pick up a phone and record something, and hey, I made a movie. I made a YouTube video or whatever. Now editing software, anybody can edit from their phone. So you don't really need a degree in film to do film per se. So I guess with what I'm studying, it's a bit different, but an internship is still worth getting into for that. Being the exposure you get into that environment that hopefully you would be getting into once you graduate, because that way hey, maybe this is for me, maybe it's not for me.
I agree. I think that the most valuable, especially for you in the world of film, I think that there's a lot that goes into creating a film, and you can learn that on your own, but being able to go through classes with other people and be able to understand that.
Yeah.
Because you're working in a film, you're working with a lot of people, so you really need to be able to understand the dynamics of people and then content and then what is rigging. I never knew what that was until I worked with the game people and movie people. Then I went, okay, I understand it.
Yeah, I can sit here all day and tell you how much I love movies and I want to make movies, but then when I get on a set, I'll go like, this sucks, I don't want to be here. So I feel like doing an internship or working or volunteering, whatever you call it, it's beneficial because you'll realize, hey, this is something I would do for years, if not the rest of my life. Do internships, guys. Like honestly, if you're a student, being an intern does help a lot.
Yeah, it's all about real world experience. Because when I first started off at Full Sail, I was in the film program. Then I even got a pre-college experience, got accepted to Stanford University out in San Jose, making like a little music video. And I was like, oh, cool. I like doing these little projects and stuff like that. And then I think it was like the practical or something like that, when we actually got experience doing a film and not just like a short little video, I was like, oh no, this is not for me. And I highly recommend, like, there's so many people at Full Sail, they're like, yeah, I want to make movies. And I'm like, oh, really? Have you been on a set? No. I'm like, well, probably should figure it out first before you spend all this money.
Yeah. And when I was in school, I was an English major, and I was going, okay, I want to be a teacher. Well, first I went the K through 6 route. And I went through one class and I went, I do not want to have to go and decorate a room every month because they make all of this stuff that they put up all on the walls. And then it was like, you have to know every subject. I went, no. So I chose to go the middle and high school route because it was just one subject and I did not have to decorate rooms, which was, really a weird reason to choose it. But I also love teaching.
Oh, we have a comment.
Abby.
Yeah, we have a comment from Abby.
Hey, Abby.
Yeah. Hey, yo. Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, so that was really good information. I appreciate that. How have you guys funded your education? How are you doing this? You got a scholarship, so that's helpful.
I always wanted to go to Full Sail. Like, a part of me always wanted to go to Full Sail, so I worked my ass off in high school getting scholarships. I got the Kiwanis Club. I got a couple of scholarships with Full Sail before attending. And then my parents were like, listen, we can help you out with this much. And then I was like, okay. And then after that, I just took out a small loan. And then when I made it halfway.
You didn't get a grant by chance?
No, my
Because,
parents made too much money.
I know. I'm even thinking because of your being a minority status. No?
Yeah, that's like easier said than done, I think. Because I always heard that too. And I mean, for me, my situation is different. But yeah, I don't think I know many people who receive grants for being
it's
considered.
hard. And then even with like the LGBT ones that I applied for, I didn't get it because it was like there's so many other students applying for it. And I was like,
I think it's a very specific situation for you to qualify, I think.
Yeah, it is. I know it is. But I had always heard that, well, I will say when I was at Rollins and I was working on my master's there, that was liberal studies. I got halfway through it and then I went, nope, I don't even want to continue it. And I had a 50% scholarship and I chose to like let that go and I switched over to an MBA.
wow.
Yeah, but I knew that I did not want to go and be a professor, full-time professor, and that's why I left that one. Anyway, okay. But you, how have you funded? Because he shared his story.
Well, I got the Pell Grant, which is the federal financial aid. Luckily, UCF has given me in-state tuition for after coming here after the hurricane. All the hurricane victims from Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands receive in-state tuition, and it got extended now till 2023.
Wow!
It was supposed to be till this coming spring, and they extended it till 2023. The Puerto Rican students were like at the what's it called, the student council meetings, and they spoke, and I wasn't there, but I saw the videos, and so now I'm good. I'm good with that. If it wasn't for the in-state tuition, I wouldn't be able to afford it. The Pell Grant pays for the education. Everything else that's on top of like that, set numbers out of pocket. I haven't taken a loan yet. I'm pretty sure I will need to at some point, just because the cost of living here it's pretty high, or at least it's higher than what it was back home. So, just the Pell Grant and my mom. That's how I'm affording being here. I was actually trying to get into Full Sail at one point, and I backed out last minute just because I couldn't afford it. Realistically, I could not afford it.
I remember like talking to the academic advisors, and I was like, oh, don't worry about my financial situation. I plan on getting a bunch of scholarships that pays for my tuition. And the guy laughed on the phone. He goes, keep waiting on that.
Oh, my God.
And I was okay.
Well, you did. You were able to do that, then.
Yeah, I was able to do it to a certain extent because I still had to have my parents' help. But then when I got the WWE scholarship, it paid off more than my loans and everything else. And I was just like, whoa. But I still had to take out a loan. And all
you should go and talk to that person at Full Sail and said, hey, remember me?
Right?
I did this.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. I was very surprised. I was like, what? Because the typical WWE scholarship is like $10,000.
That's a lot of money.
You got 25,
still.
right?
And then I got 25 because of the Raw anniversary, and they needed a student. And they were like, oh, well, this student always works, and lately he's the only student that's been working as much as anyone else. And I was like, cool. And that saved my life. I was like, oh, thank you, God. Now all I have to worry about is finding a job and just living on my own.
That's awesome.
That's it.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, your mother isn't going to let that happen. It'll be a long time before you get to move out of the house, I'm going to guess. Pretty sure.
She's always like, yeah, you need to get out, whatever. And then, whenever I'm gone for too long or I'm going out with friends, she'll call me and she's like, where are you? Why aren't you home? And I was like, I'm going out. And she goes, well, you need to come home now. I made dinner, and I made a lot of food.
Okay, can I bring my friends?
I was like, oh, goodness, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that ever changes because I know that my mother was, while my mother's was not Latin, I will say that it didn't work that way because mother trump cards are always thrown down. It's like, no, you need to come here now and go, well, it doesn't matter how old you are. That trump card, it comes down on the table.
I feel like it's a mother thing, no matter what. Yeah.
My mom did it too. Yeah. And they always will talk about you as, oh, you're my baby. And I'd sit here and go, you do see I'm like a grown woman.
Yeah.
What is it that we're doing here? And things like that. And no, you're always my baby. My mother's no longer alive, and I will say that now I miss hearing her say that and miss arguing with her about that too. No, I am not a baby. Don't call me that. I'm grown. So anyway. Okay, inspiring leaders, guys. Who are your leaders that inspire you? Living, dead, close, somebody somebody not. Now, I know you guys have answered this question before, so now you have to have a different person.
That's okay.
You can go, Kahlil.
Oh, I'm thinking about it. I can't. Because I have answered this question before, but
and previously it was his mother.
Yeah,
no, it was not.
Oh, then tonight it is your mother then.
No, it was I've mentioned a couple of content creators from
Oh, that's
specifically
true.
YouTube. I mentioned 2 different ones. But I guess cause I can generalize like my inspiring leader, my ideal leader. I guess because I don't have when it comes to like family or people that are close to me, I don't have any specific person I can point to and be like, that person drives me, or like, at least that person inspires me. I want to be like that person. I have people around me that inspire me to keep going, And when it comes to what I want to do with like my eventual career, I guess just anybody who's willing to put their self out there, and because I want to tell stories. Anybody who's willing to do that and create stuff and just have somebody enjoy their art, right? That to me, that's super inspiring. The fact that you got the courage to put yourself out there, that's something that not everybody can do. I'm going all over the place just because.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, when it comes to just, I take inspiration from those that
You
surround
know
me
what?
the most.
I have a suggestion for you.
Yeah.
Because you want to get into storytelling. I would suggest that you start reading biographies of different people. Because it's really interesting that you said that here you get to meet different types of people. So look at some really famous people. Like there's this one book, it's called Good to Great, and it's Jim Collins. And it's a leadership story. And it's about how to instill that in others. But it's very, very positive. It's very inspiring. And I think somebody that is a film director should know how to lead people. So maybe that would be a good one. But there could be others that are out there. But don't be limited to that.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, maybe if you want to go ahead.
Okay, so you're up.
I mean, like, I'm just
You're up,
putting you on the
Jason.
spot.
Okay. An inspiring leader for me. I've always said I just looked up to other people's like moments and stuff like that, but now I can actually think of someone, and that someone is Marky Miller. He's a YouTuber content creator, and I've always looked up to his work, and I remember following his life in high school, and I was like, oh man, the way he's so open with his life and his content is so good. It's high definition. And I was
This
like,
is
wow.
someone you really know.
No, it's not someone who I know.
Okay.
This guy is just someone who's on YouTube who I really liked. And I've noticed that lately, for the past few years, I've been always trying to model my projects, whatever it's like me being behind the scenes at least. I always try to model like his, because his is so like artistic and like very well done. So I really like him. And then I really like how open he is with his life as well. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I don't really have someone in my life like that who's like,
This is who I am. Take it or leave it.
this is who I am. Be so carefree. And I'm like, that's actually really cool. And I like that. And a lot of people tell me I'm like that already, but it's nice to see someone else like that. You know what I mean?
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I've met some people that I think are just, accept me the way I am. But, there's usually something different about them. Something very, they're not inhibited. They are not concerned really at all about what people think. They're brave.
Yeah.
Super brave.
They're super confident, brave. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Well, they don't even. I would even disagree. I don't know if they're necessarily confident, but they're not as afraid to go out there. The fear is not bigger than their desire to try. To just try. You know?
I like that. I like it when people can motivate others to at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
Then that's really cool, and I really like that.
Yeah, and so that's kind of like generic, you know, but he gave a specific person, so, so it's all cool. Okay, so surprise question. Room, desk, and car. Which do you clean first and why?
Room, desk, and car.
Well, I don't have
car.
a desk.
Yeah, and I don't have a car right now.
You use Abby's car, so...
Oh, I don't
Do
clean
you
his
clean
car.
his
I'm not going to
car?
clean his car.
Wow.
I mean, hey.
If he lets you drive it, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess don't say that on the air because he's gonna...
Oh, we don't don't know if he's
You
really
gotta
listening.
pay your dues for those free lifts.
I guess.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that might be the exact thing that he sits there and says, "You know what? I'll let you use my car again."
You know what? Actually, he did clean it recently, so now I don't have to clean it. I don't have to offer it right now.
Oh my goodness, that's like so wrong. Okay, so forgetting car, room or desk?
I don't have a desk in the apartment either, so I have there's a
just
table.
Just the room then. The room is the winner.
I have a dining table that I will sit
Use
on with
that
my
as your
computer.
desk?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think if anything, I'll clean up the desk before I clean up the room.
Why?
Sounds weird, but if the room is messy, I can sleep in my own mess. But
I would agree with that.
if the desk is messy, I can't work properly. I can't sit down and do stuff properly. So, I can go to bed and just watch TV or just sleep, even with the room being messy. But if I want to work, I gotta get stuff somewhat orderly. So
organize it.
yeah. So I would do the desk first.
I would say also if for you the dining room table is open where everybody can see it.
That's true. That's
so-
also part of it. I'm trying to buy a desk actually. I was looking at one on Amazon.
You're trying to buy everything.
This morning. Hey, I need stuff. Okay.
You should go to Craigslist. Honestly, Craigslist, you can get something for $10 and you can
Just be careful.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. And sometimes they're free. They're just like free. Pick
Yeah, but
it
it's
up.
like, pick it up, and sometimes we don't have a way to get to it, so it's like,
If you clean the car, you might.
okay. That's true.
All you have to do is clean the car, and you say, "Okay, yeah, go pick up that."
Oh gosh.
Okay, you're up.
I don't really have a desk, not anymore, but I would always clean my room first, and then I don't like cleaning my car because I used to work at Porsche of Naples, and I would clean other people's car.
I'm so going to go look at your car when we go out into the parking lot today.
It's a mess.
I'm still going to go look.
It's a mess.
What if your desk is in your room?
Then I would start cleaning the desk first because that's the easiest thing to clean.
Okay.
Because I used to have a desk in my room, and I would clean that first because I'm like, just put the papers together. There you go. And then work my way around the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't
would
like
agree.
cleaning cars. I did it for 3 years. Oh God, I hate cleaning cars.
Oh, I hated
Kind of
cleaning
like
my mom's
the
car.
people that make the Cinnabons. They don't eat cinnamon rolls anymore.
I don't even eat cinnamon rolls, and I
think
didn't make them.
Cinnabons are awesome.
Oh no.
Sidetrack. My mom had a Honda Odyssey, the big minivan with like
Oh,
three
yeah.
rows of seats. I hated cleaning that car so much because it's so big.
Yeah.
It's so big, so that kind of just put me off from cleaning cars. Period. Because every time she would get so annoyed when her car wasn't clean, I'm like, Mom, just pay for it because I'm not like alone. It would take me so long to clean it just on my own. And then she wanted like everything vacuumed, everything super nice and clean the leather seats. And I'm like, Mom,
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, you better like embrace some of those things because your woman is going to want you to do those things.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Okay, so here is your next question.
Surprise question.
What is a myth you believed in as a child that you still think could be real?
Aliens.
Alien.
Are they a myth though? I don't know. No, is it a bad one?
I think mermaids are real, and I think it's true, and I don't
Really?
think it's a myth. I think they're still real.
Why do you think that?
Because of the little documentary series they had, and also, like, if you think about evolution of mankind, okay, so we evolved for land creatures. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of, cavemen who evolved in the water. And plus, where did all these stories about mermaids come from anyways? They all had to spark
I think it was
somewhere.
people that were drinking too much.
Back in the old times, no. No. Like, there has to be, like, something out there.
I think it's the same thing with whether it's Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is real to me. Just saying. Because if you don't believe in Santa Claus stops coming to your house. So Santa Claus is real. But I'm going to refute both of you, just so you know.
Okay.
So aliens. Although I agree, aliens, I would think that they are real. But my question is, then why don't we see them around us? And then I go to Men in Black and go, but maybe it is really Dennis
Area
Rodman.
51.
I don't know.
I always thought about stuff like, this is gonna sound really nerdy. But you ever seen like a Star Trek or anything like that,
Yeah.
where they don't want to interfere with a world with like an intelligence population because it'll ruin their cycle of life or whatever.
Right.
Because they'll realize they're not the center of the universe and they're being observed or whatever.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
finally saw that movie.
Yeah.
Like, literally last week. That's crazy.
It is kind of like the Truman Show. So I feel like if there were aliens, they wouldn't want to and they're like studying us or something. They wouldn't want to
They
interfere.
just do it from afar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
So no chance of War of the Worlds ever happening.
exactly, unless they really wanted to. I don't know. Or maybe they live among us. Who knows? Maybe that's
Dennis
kind of
Rodman, Men in Black.
that's
I'm
kind of
telling you.
crazy, but you
Yeah.
never
The
know.
little pug that would talk.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love pugs. I really love pugs.
Does that count as a myth, aliens? Because I feel like that's I guess so.
I sit
believe
here
in
and I
aliens,
question
too.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
I do think that there is this I don't think we're the only ones out there, and I watch way too many superhero movies, and they have all of these different forms and shapes, and so yeah, is it possible? Yeah.
I mean, we're what, a speck of dust in the vast universe? Is that what we are? Or
Yeah,
how can we be the only? How can Earth be the only planet that developed a life form? How can we be the only planet with an intelligence?
But see, I would even approach it from a spiritual side. I would sit here and go, I believe in God, I believe in the devil, and so I believe in ghosts also. But the people would say, well, you don't believe in dinosaurs? Yeah, I believe in dinosaurs. They're here. But do I believe in yeah, I think that God can create aliens. So why would I not think that's possible? I think anything like that is possible. So it's not.
Yeah.
Mermaids, I'm gonna have to really push that. 'Cause I think it's really more of that. Mermaids are something from Greek mythology, Greek or Roman mythology, and I think it's just something that has evolved through time, where it was truly like what they said. What was it like? Not seals.
Isn't it
seals that would be swimming, and so they would get the idea that it was that. But what I remember reading is that the sailors on the ship were had some kind of disease like scurvy or whatever they were going through, and they believed that they were real, but they really weren't. So mermaids, I'm not sure.
I was about to say, and I don't know. I don't really have too much knowledge about mermaids, but it didn't.
I do.
Doesn't it come from like a lot of sailor folklore? In, I don't know what countries about that same thing. People going mad at sea and seeing women in the water or whatever, and then like jumping overboard or something like that.
Yeah, I tend to believe that more than the other. But one can still say in support of mermaids, if you believe in aliens and ghosts and whatever.
I mean, who knows? Maybe people had fins at one point. Who knows?
Yeah, because of evolution, and also we haven't even fully discovered all that's in our ocean.
That's true.
We discovered more things in space than we have in our own ocean.
That is true.
So we probably have little mermaids with megalodon swimming around.
Yeah, I would
Just
think a
keep
lot
swimming.
about sea monsters and stuff like that. I would always be like, dude, like what's in the ocean? Because we don't know what's that. Like, could be a whole other world.
That's
it's
another thing I believe. Like megalodon, he's out there. I know it. Like he's just hiding.
All right, so this is going to be like probably our last question, and then we go into we have to be finished by 45 till.
Okay.
Just so
All
you
right.
know. So this one is, what question would you like to ask me?
Oh.
Because I usually throw the questions up here, and this one I knew was going to be a perplexing one.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, you're having to think. So this is truly where improv comes in.
Okay.
How do you make all the connections that you've made so far? Like I've heard so many like stories of or not stories, just other experiences of people working with you, and then they all said, "Oh, well, she helped me connect with this person." I was like, "Damn! Like, how do you manage to meet all these people?" And they're all these like super impressive people.
Oh, wow! Thanks. You may not believe this, but I used to, when I would go to networking events, I would not be very conversive. And I would just usually go, okay, I'm just going to wait for somebody else to come up and talk to me. Now, when I go to anything that's networking, I look to be the first person in the room that says, hi, my name's Isabella. What's your name? And because it takes the pressure, I think, off of me that way, and it's for that reason. So when I go to events, my goal is to remember 3 people that I meet. Mm-hmm. And I can meet a lot of people, but, trying to make connections. For example, I was invited to something called BNI. Have you guys ever heard of the BNI?
No.
I think it's Business Network something, and it's a formal organization. and it runs like, woo, it moves. You know, everybody has positions and roles and leadership. And they have to stand up, and they make sure that everybody's moving around. There's 24 people in the room, and they all come with business cards, and they have to go, okay, so this is 60 seconds to say who you are and what you do. And then you look for the other 23 people to be like part of your sales team, essentially. So they meet lots of people, and then they help drive sales to you or potential prospects to you. And I found that really, really interesting. So I look for a lot of opportunities where I can go to things. So I look at meetups. I look for Eventbrite, you know, see what types of things are up there. I worked in my working career has been 24 years, 25 years, really. And I've worked in education, and so in education, you always have to have a second job.
Mm-hmm.
So I've worked in daycare, like after school, I'd work in daycare because it was just a continuation. I teach Sunday school at church, so I meet lots of people at church, usually the parents, because it's 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds.
Oh, you still do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So not like my current church, but a different church that's close to where
Okay.
I am. And I love working with little children because they remind me how to treat adults, because I think we're all a child on the inside, a 2-year-old. And then the other things are I'm in professional groups. So I like to volunteer, which is why I'm on the TEDx team. I'm in my professional group. And then I like going to things because if you own your own company, you really have to be focusing on meeting people. So you keep essentially a sales funnel in place. But when I work with people, I want it to be very relational, which is why, people don't always know. I ask you guys a lot of questions because I'm genuinely interested in you guys. And I do want to make sure I keep that as a connection because you never know, 5 years from now, I could be coming to you and say, hey, I need this,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
I had exchange students that lived with me, and these were complete strangers I brought into my house, and because of that, 10 years later, the student that came in at 17, she's from China. That's the one I went to visit in Boston last year in December, and
Oh, wow.
it was amazing.
That's cool.
So I think that there's this place where our paths have crossed, but it's important to remember that it was there for a reason. Sometimes it's just for a short season, but it can be for just one time. It can be for a season, but it could always be for longer. And it's interesting. A student that had interned with me from Barry Law School, he reached out to me and he said, hey, do you still have my assessment? I need that file. And I went, yeah, I do. What is it that you're doing? And so we're supposed to be talking. And that was honestly, 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So cool. And I did create a closed Facebook group for everybody that's intern, so I'm going to add you guys to it. So it becomes like your own little fraternity, your group
Okay.
of people that what you have in common is that you met and interned with me in some capacity. And so you can reach out and say, hey, I'm looking for this. Can anybody help me?
Mm-hmm.
So you never know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
do you have time for another one, or?
I do. It's 6:44, so we'll have to. We may
s-
be closing a few other things up here.
I
but
believe you may have touched on this before, but what motivates you? What
my
keeps you going?
honestly, it's several things. The first one is because I really believe in what I was. My purpose in life. My purpose in life is to teach people, and I believe that's one of my gifts. And how I do that is, either through working with students like this in an internship, but it's not just an internship. I work with clients and I approach it from the same perspective. It's about educating people. So that's one thing that drives me is what my purpose is. And I didn't really know I used to think that being an educator wasn't very, wasn't sexy enough, it wasn't like cool enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then, my faith is a big thing, and most people that know me is like Jesus girl with a potty mouth. That F word flies out of my mouth a lot. So, and I think I've said that to you guys before too.
Yep.
But the other thing that is significant is that it's really of who I serve, and it is Christ. So I believe I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then the third thing is fear. Fear of failure.
Fear?
I hate to lose, and I hate to fail at something. So I sit here and go, no, it might not be now, but it could be later. So I guess those are my 3 motivators.
Okay.
Things. Okay, sponsor 2. We've got to move over to that. So that's you, Jason.
All right. For our second sponsor, we have Create the Movement. Creating a movement takes 2 things, the right people and the right message. Finding the right people takes laser focus and extensive research. Crafting the right message requires in-depth market knowledge and constant tweaking. I'm messing up.
You're doing great.
All right. It's not about thinking outside of the box. It's about knowing what your box is made of and using it to your advantage. Thank you, Create the Movement, for sponsoring the Intern Whisperer Live. I am messing up front, left, right, center.
Oh my
Bad.
God. You're doing awesome. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so we want to say thank you to Valencia College. Thank you, Q, as always, for letting us be here. We really love this. Making sure our listeners know that we are doing live Facebook on Monday nights. Those shows are going to be played when the school is closed. So you can watch us live on Monday nights between now and I think it's first week of December, and then listen to those episodes again. We would like to invite our listeners to begin voting for the best episodes, 5 best episodes, because I would like to play those. So, Jason, I'm going to need your help to create a poll on Facebook so we can see which ones are, and I'm hoping it's going to be like this episode.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but we have been live on Instagram as well this whole time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've been live streaming since the beginning.
How many people are watching?
Well, at the moment, 1.
That's
But
okay.
I've had multiple people come in and out, make comments.
That's okay.
I'm blind. I can't see that far. So if you guys made a comment, thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for watching. I know I don't usually do live streams, but this is my first one. Let me know what you guys think.
That is true. Thank you for all of Jason's listeners. So moving on over, shout-outs. So, Jason, what other shout-outs would you like to add?
Ooh, okay. So other than the people who were listening to my live stream, I definitely want to shout out my friend Natty, who I met up with over the weekend. I haven't seen her in a long time. She's from Fort Myers. So, yeah, shout out to Natty.
Oh, and I want to give serious accolades over here to Jason also. He got his 1-year pin at Universal.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yay.
1 year at Universal, special awards I had this morning. Yay.
Yeah. He's got all kinds of cool things to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're up.
Shout out to Jason's Instagram at Rare Ferrer. Is that
Rare Ferrer.
There you go. Shout out to Albie for tuning in. Thank you, Isabella, for having us. Mom, hey, are you watching? I love you.
At some point, you know what? Jerron's aunt, Darlene, she tuned into the show on Monday night, and it was like so cool. She was there.
Oh, I saw Jerron and Val yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, they were having a coffee together. And so shout out to Jerron and Val, our
Yeah.
previous
That's how I
co-hosts.
met you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how I met you for sure, through Jerron. All right. And so my shout out is always to all of the wonderful people, past, present, and future,
Yes.
that have worked with me through Intern Pursuit and also with Pivot. I want to give a special shout out to Starter Studio and to Gonzalo, who is the project manager of the Intern Pursuit software. We are going to be launching. I'm not going to even give a deadline, but I am encouraging employers to be watching our feed because we will be having a Save Your Seat spot. All right. And how can people find us? They can find us on info@internpursuit.com. Go to our internpursuit.com website, and you can find us again on Facebook, Twitter, live on mixlr.com/Valencia College Radio. Follow Intern Pursuit, and also live on Facebook. And as we close this show, we want to say thank you to our listeners, and thank you to Jason's Instagram.
Some of them are saying hi right now. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so take us out, guys.
All right.